Good morning, everyone. All of you, sit comfortably. Let us start the morning prayer session with 3 rounds of Omkara. Close your eyes. अद्यतन पंचांगम पंचविंशत्यधिकं एकशतोत्तर पंचसहस्रतम कलियुगाब्दः श्री शोभकृत नाम संवत्सरः दक्षिणायनं वर्ष ऋतुः भाद्रपद मासः शुक्लपक्षः चतुर्दशी तिथिः पूर्वाभाद्रा नक्षत्रं गण्डयोगः करजकरणं बृहस्पतिवासरः. Today's date 28th of September 2023 Thursday. तिथेश्च श्रियमाप्नोति आरादायुष्यवर्धनं नक्षत्राद्धरते पापं योगात् रोगनिवारणं करणात् कार्यसिद्धिश्च पञ्चाङ्गफलमुत्तमम्. सर्वेषां शुभमस्तु. Shloka from Gita, chapter 11, verse 53. Naham vaidena tapasa nadanena na chejaya shakya Shakyam evam vido drashtum Drashtavanasi mam yatha. Meaning, the Supreme Lord said, this form of mind that you are seeing is exceedingly difficult to behold. Even the celestial gods are eager to see it. Neither by the study of the Vedas, nor by penance, charity, or fire sacrifices can I be seen as you have seen me.
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Suprabhatam. You will see the word split. Na aham vedaihi na tapasa na danena na cha ijyaya. It should be shakyaha. There is a typo here. Shakyaha evam vidhaha drashtum drishtavan asi mam yatha. So, we are almost close to the conclusion of the Vishwarupa Darshana, and there should be a proper prelude to the next chapter. The 12th chapter, which is going to commence, is about Bhakti Yoga. So, to give a proper prelude and lead to the next chapter, the significance of bhakti is underlined in this shloka and the next couple of shlokas. So, Krishna says, evam vidhaha, in this manner, drashtum, to see. In which manner? In the Vishwarupa way. In the omnipresent, omniscient, sarvajna, sarvavyapi, sarvatmaka. So in such form, drashtum, to see, drishtavanasi, means it is difficult to see, but drishtavanasi, but you have seen me in this way. So in this way, in the Vishwarupa way, it is exceedingly difficult to see, but still you have seen me. But how have you seen me? Na aham vedaihi, not by the study of the Vedas that such a vision of Bhagavan is possible. Na tapasa, not by the various austerities and the various penances and various self-disciplining practices, such a vision of Bhagavan, Vishwarupa vision is possible. Na danena, not by giving alms and charity, such form of Bhagavan could be seen. Nacha ijyaya, ijya means yajna, neither by performing elaborate rituals. So this form of Bhagavan could be seen. The sentence is not complete. Then how could he be seen? The next shloka you have to go. Bhaktya tu ananyaya shakyaha ahamevam vidhorjuna. By the single pointed bhakti alone, complete, total devotion to me, such a vision, such a Vishwarupa Darshana could be had. So about bhakti, which will be emphasized in verbatim, mentioned in the next shloka, maybe tomorrow whoever elaborates will elaborate, but we have to clarify here that is Bhagavan discounting the study of the Vedas? Is he discounting the significance of tapas? Is he again saying that dhanam or giving charity is useless, or performing yajna is again of no avail? Is he trying to say that? No. In studying the Shastra, we should not have a compartmental approach. And it should not be a myopic approach where we focus only on that shloka and quote it and then interpret it. In most textual quotations where people do, unfortunately, without looking at the context, if you just pick and choose, if you cherry pick the quotations that you want, you miss out the context. That's why I said the context is to underline, emphasize, highlight, make bold and italics, whatever it is, the importance of bhakti and not to discount the Vedas, tapas, yajna or dana. Each of these four practices in their own right beneficial role in making making every human. Because the study of the Vedas, be it the Rigveda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, Atharvaveda, the chanting of that is elevating. Just sit in a Veda Parayana, wherever some Vedic chanting is happening. Already, S. Vyasa is a place where we do research on all these Indic dimensions, Vedic dimensions, how the Vedic chanting has its own effect on the body, mind complex. Already that is being done. So hence, the chanting by yourself, we already do. The Sahana Bhavatu, the Sangachadhavam, and all the other Vedic chanting that you do, it calms the mind down without any doubt. So, hence Vedas have their own position, importance, and not to be discounted. And then, that's why the Vedas says, Ekama Pricham Yajus Samava. Daily chant at least one Rik mantra or one Yajur mantra or just one Sama mantra that will do a whole world of good to you. So with that focus, with the right pronunciation, chant one mantra every day. So that is the thing, that is the way you can pay back to the Vedic tradition. It is not actually paying back to the Vedic tradition which has kept us in such a better position in comparison to other civilizations. It will do a lot of world of good to us, some Vedic chanting every day. And then tapas. What is tapas? Tapas is a very elaborate concept. There are so many interpretations to the word tapas. And in the Sayanacharya's commentary to the Veda Bhashya, especially the Shikshavalli, where he says, or in the Brahmanandavalli, tapasa brahma vijijñāsasva, according to one's ashrama, brahmacharya, grihastha, vanaprastha and sannyasa, tapas varies. What is the tapas for a brahmachari? Swadhyaya paramam tapaha. What is the tapas for a grihastha? Dhanam tapaha. What is the tapas for a vanaprastha? Upavasaha, anashanam tapaha. And then what is tapas for a sannyasi? Aikagriyam paramam tapaha. So in this way tapas has been elected. When you come to the yogic context, pranayama param tapaha. And then in this way so many interpretations are there to the word tapas. Basically it means self-disciplining, not overindulgence. So, especially in the Kriya Yoga and Ashtanga Yoga, when you find the word tapas, anashanam, that is taking the upavasa vrata and then disciplining the body, not constantly feeding the system. So, taking the right fasting, upavasa and doing that is tapas. So, hence it has its own significance. As Vedic chanting has its own, learning the Vedas from the Guru Mukha, chanting it one or two mantras every day has its own significance. Practicing tapas has its own significance. Again, tapas is being evaluated, or fasting, intermittent fasting and so on and so forth. Its effect is again scientifically validatable. And then dhanam. Dhanam is again a great virtue. And then datavya viti yadhanam diyate anupakarine deshe kale cha patre cha taddanam. How to do dhanam? Self-same Krishna in the 17th and 18th chapter says, don't do Rajasic Dana, don't do Tamasic Dana, do the Satvika Dana. So he himself emphasizes that later. And then he says, and then Yajna, performance of Yajna, you know again, right away we have a Yajna Kunda right besides. So the beneficial effects of Yajna, all these are there. So, generally out of context reading will be harmful when we say no, not by Vedas, not by tapas, not by dana, not by yajna, you will see the God only by bhakti, not in the context. Even through these, while chanting the Vedas, ananya bhakti, do the chanting of the Vedas and apply yourself completely into it. So you chant the Vedas, look here, look there, no. Whatever you take up, do it with ultimate devotion and focus. Do the tapas and be there focused in that. That's why there is a word for tapas, especially if you take it in the sense of upavasa. The word upavasa is very significant. It is not merely foregoing meal, upa samipe vasaha, staying closer to the God. On the day when you fast, you not merely forego the food, you stay closer to a higher state of mind, the divinity. So hence, whatever you do, don't do it in an external, mechanical kind of way. Do it, breathe in some spirituality in it. Breathe in that focus, breathe in that devotion in the Vedic chanting. father of Nachiketas did. What did he do? He just had some old stock, he had to push it. So, Pitodakaha, Jagdhatranaha, Duddhadohaha, Nirindriya, he also did Godana. He gave the cows which could henceforth not drink any water. And then Jagdhatranaha, he gave away those cows from his shed which cannot eat even one more bit of grass. No teeth for them. So such cows. And then Duddha Doha, all milk has been milked from cow. No milk remains in the cow. Such cows he gave away. Not to give this way. So whoever is a receiver should be completely benefited by the act of giving. So with such devotion, then Nachiketas said, no, I won't accept such a dhanam. Give me to someone else, so that it becomes a prayashchitta for all the mistake that you have done. So hence, be it Veda, be it Tapas, be it Dhanam, be it Ijya or Yajna, whatever activity, there are so many such self-disciplining prescriptions in the Shastra. Do it with Bhaktiyatu Ananyaya. With total devotion, if you do, even a small act of devotion will bring in a lot of change. Without that, all these mere external show appearances will do no good. So hence the idea that is spoken here is Bhakti hi gariyasi. Bhakti moksha sadhana sopaneshu bhaktireva gariyasi. Even in Viveka Chudamani, Acharya Shankara says this. So hence the spirit of bhakti, spirit of devotion, that is what will lead you to every other impossible feature. Even the Vishwarupa Darshana can be had if you have the bhakti or devotion. When this is in the realm of spirituality, even in the realm of our day-to-day life, as faculty, as teachers, we have so many responsibilities. As students, you also have so many responsibilities. We have to bring in that element of bhakti in our activity. Whatever we do with single pointed focus. Now I am going for teaching. Let me be focused on the subject in hand. Let me be totally devoted to that. Let me not be distracted by this or that. Let me devote myself. I am doing my research. Let me be focused on my study. So in this way, bhakti is not only to be seen in the context of spirituality, self-realization. When we breathe in that bhakti, single-pointed devotion to whatever task we do, then Vishwarupa Darshana is for us to see. Thank you.
Good morning, Suprabhata. Today we can't see Ayurveda students and nursing students, but we can see new group of students sitting among us. Yes, they are students from Department of Psychology, Central University, Government of Karnataka. We welcome all of you for our university wholeheartedly, and we wish you a great time ahead in our Prashanti campus. I request Jayaraman sir to host the flag.